What's up, Bundu fans? It's Bundu Baz back again, and today is one chilly day. Ish makaza, baba. Makazi. Tis cold. Tis cold today. We had some cool. Yesterday wasn't too bad. We've had a few rainy days, but today is windy, cold, cloudy. Definitely feels like a winter's day. Cool, man. The good, the bad, and the ugly. What's going on? At the beginning of our lockdown, at the beginning of all the craziness, just before the lockdown, I did a few videos on just getting prepared, ready, like a what if. Do you have a what if plan? I hope all of you guys watching this have a what if plan. And I hope that your what if plan has kind of worked for you. Just remember, it was only step one. Yeah, it's always going to be one of those plans, work in progress. It's going to evolve as times evolve. And we really are like on the cusp of a weird time. Yeah, take it as you wish, man. Okay, so I've been looking forward to this day. We're 2 weeks into the lockdown, 1 week to go. It's Thursday, so 1 week from now, Friday next week, life should go back to normal. If you believe that. Okay. I'm a bit thrown off. I made a whole lot of predictions. I had a whole lot of thoughts for this time now, this week. The government's had a good week, at least 7 days of quite a bit of testing in regards to the COVID-19, the coronavirus. The hype has disappeared, the panic's gone, the craziness has kind of subsided. There seems to be this eerie quietness going on a global level. So before we get into that, let's have a look at the good. What's been the good of lockdown 2020, number one? Well, for me, I hear that trauma emergencies have dropped substantially in our country, and apparently that's due to just the no alcohol. So, like, kudos. A lot of trauma emergency units are not running as they used to. So, in that regard, that's a good thing. Less people are having horrible deaths, violent, traumatic, alcohol-induced issues. So, yeah, good on that. That's kind of given our emergency system, I think, our hospitals and that, and the staff a bit of a break. Maybe not everywhere, but just generally as a whole. And I don't know figures, but there's talk that medical emergencies have kind of dipped due to a lack of alcohol. Great. Man, Mother Nature's also had a bit of downtime, and I think that in itself is a good thing. Less people doing their shit on the planet can always benefit Mother Nature, and there's proof that it doesn't take her very long to get into the swing of things once we stop messing it up, hey? Kudos to our governments. They've gotten off their asses, and water delivery, water in our country is a big issue, and the government has appeared to have done a lot to get on top of that. And my home little village, Kwakwa, there in the mountains, I see that they have water. Some places haven't had water in 20 years. Can you imagine? No running water from a tap in 20 years. That's pretty scary, especially considering you come from a place where the water comes from. Yeah, I mean, it's part of our whole the Gauteng, our Vol River system, Fikapatso, the Lesotho Water Highland Scheme for having Kwakwa to not have water. It's a bit mind-boggling considering it's all stored a few meters above their head, eh? So most places that haven't had flowing water or haven't had fresh water or haven't had access to water now have access to water. A lot of it is probably non-permanent, but hey, it's a step in the right direction, and I think the government's made an effort to get that out to people, and kudos, because that can only benefit later. So that's a good thing. As we speak, today is the 9th of April, yeah. So less than 20 people have died in South Africa on the coronavirus, COVID-19. So that's a good thing, no? Less than 1 million people have died globally. Can check my figures. I'm not 100% sure. I've given up on looking at all the stats. It's a good thing. Half the world hasn't got it and half the world hasn't died. So that's a good thing. I'm not saying those that have died, like, blessings and peace be their journey, and for the people affected by it. Yeah, so that's good. Globally, a small percentage, less than 20 up to date now. We're sitting into our second week of shutdown, going into the last week of our 21-day lockdown, and we only have, I think it's 18 since this morning, recorded deaths associated to coronavirus. Yeah. However you wish to take that. So that's good. The government's done some cool stuff, given water supply is better for those that haven't had it. Yeah, awesome. Good. The non-alcohol thing has also been quite good. However, I'm a smoker, which I'm going to light up now. I'm sure people have been battling not being able to buy a cigarette. Okay, the bad. That was the good, now the bad. The bad, man, what's going on? The numbers. So I said less than 20 people have died, and that's a good thing, but that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting now to have in the thousands. Apparently we have less than 2,000 corona patients or people with the virus that have been tested and confirmed. Less than 2,000. The states have something like 15,000 dead, over 400,000 infected, and South Africa has less than 2,000. We have a problem. You know, there's a first epicenter in Durban, St. Augustine's, I think. That's an epicenter. They've found out, or they're kind of clamping down on that. That's cool, but really, in one of the clips you spoke about threat analysis in your what-if plan. It's all good to have a plan, but then you need to have little indicators to tell you if your plan's on track. Yeah, and so for me, this is an indicator. Why? What's going on? I know that the testing only kicked in this time last week, so you know, there is it's happening, but only less than 2,000. It's a bit dodgy, don't you think? So we need to look at that, keep that in mind. It should be an indicator. Really, we've put our lives on the line. We've kind of shut down business and financially put ourselves under massive stress for 2,000 people. Doesn't that sound a bit strange? Okay, no fear-mongering or anything. I'm not dishing anyone. It just sounds a bit strange. The bad... media lockdown, this thing that we're not allowed to put out news about COVID-19 or fake media. Listen, man, the fake news is the mainstream news, so we need to question that. And then the ugly extended lockdown. There might be calls that they're going to extend the lockdown. Are we prepared for that? Can we handle that? What are the ramifications of that? Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's some good that's come out of this. The bad, I think we're a bit hanging, waiting on what's going to happen. And the ugly, man, the ugly can become really ugly. So, do you have a plan? A what-if plan? It's time to think about it. Windy Bears out.